if this is Sat-G, and I see a lot of reasons why it may not be, these people typically leave. You know, again, they're here, they're overstayed, and eventually they want to get home with whatever bounty they were able to effectuate in the U.S., whether they fenced it and wired it or not. How much more difficult would that make it to find this person now that we're likely on an IGG, an investigative genetic genealogy track, if they're not here?
It would be difficult, but, and I've said this before in terms of this investigation, I do think that because of the proximity to Mexico, there's no question that they've utilized Interpol in terms of submitting all of that. And so I do think if they're able to get at least a partial, they could probably try to marry it up with Interpol. It's going to make it a lot more difficult, 100%. But I do believe that they have submitted some of that to Interpol. There's no question, just simply because of the proximity.
So what's your gut that when it comes to Sat-G, hard stop, not a chance, or hey, anything's possible?
Listen, I never want to say hard stop, right? I don't think that's ever fair in a case like this. I just feel based on what I know and what I followed of them, this doesn't seem to pattern who they are. But, again, anything is possible. My gut tells me that this isn't them based on the patterns of their behavior.
Tracy Walder, I love talking to you. I wish I had your brain. Thank you for doing this.
Well, likewise, Ashley. Thank you for having me.
And so that's where things stand. Here we are, day 32, March the 4th, coming towards the end of week 5. And I will say it again. I think this crime is going to be solved. I do. I really do. I think there's so much going on behind the scenes that we don't know about, like in Coburger. You remember we thought, oh, these bungling idiots in Moscow and the PD, they don't know what they're doing. It's just some car and that's all they've got. No, they had a lot more. And it just took time. The IGG, the familial connections that they were able to get from that speck of DNA that was on the knife sheath that idiot Brian Coburger left behind at the crime scene. It just took time to find his giant web of family, 4th, 3rd, 2nd cousins, grandfather, grandmother, aunts, uncles, siblings, parents, you name it. They got that wide group of people, and it just took time to figure out who in that giant group might be the perp, right? And they did it. But it takes the gumshoe work. Again, yesterday's episode, it takes the gumshoe work of going through that with detectives who hit the pavement and literally go asking and collecting and seeking and then, cutting the weed away from the chaff. And that's how they eventually get to their guy. That is what might be going on as we speak at this moment. And God, I hope so. Because again, whoever that glove-fisted prick is who did this, he spat on his damn finger.